What is democracy? Betrayal of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy?
Well, he's actually asking. He doesn't.
You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
What?
And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
Is this guy actually a communist at this point? Listen to the actual speech. Everything about it just reeks of the Communist Manifesto. Speaking of wrong, let's move on to this. Former Vice President Biden, respect the office, gave this commencement speech, and I'm sure you saw this at Morehouse College. But I also need to be clear here. We're going to fact check all of this. All the references are publicly available. We put them in the link in the description. He told the students, and I watched this, you can comment below. I said, is this guy actually a communist at this point? Listen to the actual speech. Everything about it just reeks of the Communist Manifesto. Marx, for the uninitiated. What's the difference between a Marxist, a communist, and a Leninist? I'm not sure, aside from the facial hair. You guys can comment below.
This is Morehouse College? It's a
Morehouse College.
HBCU?
Yeah.
Another white man stealing a black man's job.
So he told them that America hated them because they were black.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
Well, they just graduated college.
Sorry,
wrong clip.
Right clip. And by the way, the speech is just what made it to prompter. What was cut was even worse.
You missed your high school graduation. You started college just as George Floyd was murdered. And there was a reckoning on race. It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? Betrayal of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy?
Well, he's actually asking. He doesn't.
You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
What?
And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
Oh, come on. Really?
So much of the racist.
Jeez.
What year is it?
I know.
What year does he think it is?
I don't know what he thinks.
They go in a hip hop club. What's my name? What's my name? So we also actually have the exclusive audio of his prep.
Oh, no.
Which was worse.
Okay, Mr. President, for the commencement address, you're going to want to focus
I'll tell them one of my stories about sticking up for blacks.
Sir, I don't really
When I was
think...
growing, little, like back in South Central Delaware, when I used to run with Trey and Ricky.
Trey and Ricky, sir? That wasn't you.
Yeah, it was me. I remember like it was yesterday, the day Doughboy got arrested.
No, I think that's Boys in the Hood. You watched it with Hunter last night. We heard you from
Yes,
the other office.
I raised two boys in the hood. Two of them. One of them died in the Korean War.
No, it's a movie.
Yeah, you should make it a movie. It'd be a good movie. Hire one of those clean, well-spoken black actors. Ricky and Doughboy both got gunned down. See? That's what these kids need to hear. They all don't know, don't show, or don't care about, the thing.
Sir, I really don't.
I'm telling you, man. It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Okay. Just read the prompter, please.
Brandy never gave me no skin. Hello?
Brandy is tight-fisted with the skin, so you know what? I can't fault him for that.
I'd be mad too.
Go through. Did you? No. Okay. Let's go through the first claim.
Did I what?
I didn't know if you had something you were gonna. There you go. First claim that he makes. All these references are available. He says that George Floyd was murdered. Oh boy.
You started college just as George Floyd was murdered.
Yeah,
That's relevant.
You couldn't tell George Floyd out of a lineup, dude.
No.
He probably thinks George Floyd. He thinks, oh yeah, it's a boxer.
Yes.
It's a George Floyd Mayweather foreman. He has no idea.
He's a Philly shell. I used to box. Amy's Diner. What? So he says George Floyd was murdered. Here's the truth. And I'm glad that everyone else can say this now, because for a time you weren't allowed to discuss this. He resisted arrest while he was high on fentanyl and a cocktail of drugs. The examiner's report found fentanyl to the level of 11, I believe it's nanograms per milliliter in his system. That was the level of it. Now, just so you know, 3 nanograms per milliliter can be fatal.
Yeah.
He also had methamphetamine, THC. You guys can go and read the report. He had no life-threatening injuries. I don't know if you know this, but fentanyl actually harms a lot of, sometimes you don't need anything else to happen other than just fentanyl, let alone more than 3 times the fatal dose. It's almost like we have an epidemic of fatal fentanyl overdoses.
But not him.
No.
Really, this was not his kryptonite.
No. And just so you know, we did this a long time ago, and of course we got flack for it, but I stand by it. We showed you, in case you want to watch, we'll put the link in the description, that the knee alone, Chauvin's knee alone, would not, at this point in time, George Clooney said, if you're going to sit down, get down on the ground for 9 minutes here, you're willing to let someone kneel on your neck for 9 minutes, I'll allow Chauvin to be declared not guilty. I did exactly that, and it was at most mildly uncomfortable. It's time for me to go outside and live on concrete, knee on neck / shoulder for 9 minutes. Kneel on my neck, here, shoulder.
Oh, pause the timer.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
There we go.
I just don't understand when we decided that violent offenders who are resisting arrest are supposed to be entirely comfortable. 1, and now we beat it by 2 seconds.
Happy New Year.
All right, Tokunawan, get off. Get off. Okay, good. There we go. We're
Get him
done.
up.
Now, the worst part of that was actually they put on the handcuffs the wrong way, so my wrists were bleeding. So it was actually more uncomfortable.
People were so pissed off that we did that.
Don't care.
No, it was hilarious.
I also didn't have 3 times a lethal dose of fentanyl in my system.
You didn't.
So I almost feel like, just by the skin of my teeth.
Or meth, or THC, or any of the other.
Well, you don't have
5
any
pages.
tolerance either. So George Floyd had the tolerance of a horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently.
That's true. That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
A lot of horses on fentanyl? Sure.
I don't know equine prescriptions. Let's go to the next claim that he makes, which is pretty easy to debunk, and we will, that black men are being killed on the street.
What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street,
Here's the truth.
What the?
That is true, but it's by other black men, largely. So in 2019, 89% of black murder victims were killed by a black offender. 89%.
Wow.
Yikes.
You can't find that high of a percentage point for anything else.
No.
Well, most of those were black cops, to be fair.
No, most of them were not black cops. There are black, but black cops are they are the most at-risk group as far as, almost any profession in the country, and they're at significantly higher risk than other cops as far as being targeted.
Okay.
Here's another truth, by the way, that police officers, they're not out hunting black men, to be clear. They're actually 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black suspect than killing a black suspect themselves. Again, that reference is available. 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black suspect than to kill a black suspect. Not to mention this study that came out of Harvard. I don't know if you know the guy who conducted this study. One of those black guys, 23% less likely black Americans to be shot by police than whites. They are 23% less likely. You can argue it until you're blue in the face. This doesn't mean that black guys don't get pulled over by racist cops to be shaken down because they have a baggie of weed. I get it. But as far as black men being gunned down, it is not happening by cops. Far more young black men are gunning down cops, and far more young black men are being gunned down by other black men. It's over. That's it. Myth busted. You don't get to repeat this anymore. Done.
Yeah, but the media will not ever report on that stuff because all they did was tell us that black people were being killed at will by police officers.
Did he also say all this in front of the flag from Congo?
I think
that is the Congolese.
The place where they're literally selling people and enslaving their own people for batteries.
Yes. Also, they have white apes with laser guns.
No.
Yeah.
They find the mines?
Yes. People younger than 30 are like, what? It's a horrible film, but I still have I still have the promotional popcorn bucket.
Do you really?
I do. Here's the next claim. I'm a hoarder.
He has a whole collection. He has all these popcorn buckets at his house.
Yes.
I have Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
Oh.
Popcorn bucket too.
Did you get that Dune 2 promotional?
No. Mine are the classics.
Fleshlight thing?
That looks really weird, by the way.
Yeah.
I have a little Burger King watch from Jurassic Park: Lost World where if you clicked it, it flipped open like it was a A dino cage?
Oh.
Why are you buying those things?
I don't buy those things. I keep those things. So
Steals them.
another claim that he makes here is that blacks, as he calls them, they have to be 10 times better to get a fair shot.
What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot.
What? I mean, listen, I'm sorry, but these kids, what, 22-ish years old? Imagine sitting in that audience and hearing him say that as you're about to like embark on life and believing what he's selling.
Well, actually, Reverend Al Sharpton was in the audience, and he seemed to be buying it wholesale.
Nice ride.
Not a rap.
Here's
Fat Al Sharpton.
the truth is that, look, you may experience individual racism, but as far as systemic racism, black Americans are actually given special treatment not afforded to any other demographic in this country right now, aside from maybe illegal immigrants. And by the way, I have my gripes there too. So let me give you an example. Harvard, black students, for example, in the bottom 40%, when they're going to Harvard, bottom 40% of their class, they have a 19% chance of being admitted.
This is like applicants?
Yes.
Like their high school
applicants to Harvard.
grades?
Yeah, okay. Bottom 40%. So black students, if they're in the bottom 40% of their class, they apply to Harvard, they have a 19% chance of being admitted. Asian students in the bottom 40, a 1.7 chance. White students, 2.8. Hispanic students, 7.8. It's not even close. And there are other examples, of course, of affirmative action. I think it's distinctly racist. And I think it's a horrible thing for a black student, for a young black American, to not know if they've actually earned their spot. But hey, that's equity as opposed to equality. We had this with a Change My Mind. This one black girl said, I don't think I would have been able to get into UT, not affirmative action. I said, well, you didn't have good grades? She said, no, I had great grades. I said, what were your extracurriculars like? She said, they were great. No, I was top 2% of my class, or she was valedictorian. I said, I think that's really sad that you think you only got in here because of the color of your skin, because you actually deserve to be here.
She earned that.
And I hope that you take some pride in that and not belittle it by thinking some bureaucrat riddled with white guilt admitted you. She said, oh, okay, thank you. I think it's cruel. I think affirmative action is actually cruel. Just like I think it would be cruel to put someone with a physical disability on an oil rig. They shouldn't be there if they are not qualified, and they're more likely to get hurt. So this is where we are, and you can sound off. I'd love to hear especially if you're a young black American who worries about affirmative action having benefited you. Is that something you struggle with? I can imagine that's pretty tough. You have Biden here just pandering. He's pandering because you have Donald Trump, who has a higher percentage of the black vote than any Republican since Nixon. A lot of people don't remember. Nixon was actually quite popular when he ran compared to most Republicans with black Americans. And this is when we're seeing right now a surge in black support for Donald Trump, which, of course, by the way, has CNN freaking out.
Oh, my God!
What is it with the clips today? Wrong. Here's this is a CNN clip.
But look at this number for Donald Trump, 22%. Where was Donald Trump at this point 4 years ago in the polls? He was just at 9% of the vote. So he's seen more than a doubling in his support among African Americans. This margin, which was in the 70s just 4 years ago, look at where it is now, 69 minus 22. That puts it in the 40s. My goodness gracious. If this goes through the general election,
it's the same guy that did it last time.
This would be by far the best performance for a Republican candidate among black voters in a generation, 2 generations, probably since 1960.
He's good at math.
He is.
Well, kind of. He got 40s. He didn't have the time to come up with 47, but
Trump will be the 47th president, so I guess it works.
Yeah.
There's symmetry.
I see a lot to be hopeful about, and not just this election, not just Donald Trump, of course, President Trump becoming president again, but I see a cultural shift where a lot of people are not buying what they're selling, and I want to sort of spend some time on that before I go into the next story, which makes you think that the world is about to end. So,
do you think that President Biden was asked by Morehouse to do it, or do you think that?
Hold on, I'm sorry. Who?
Oh, sorry, Vice President. I forgot to respect the office.
Yes,
former Vice President Biden.
Thank you.
Do you think that
You're better than that.
they asked him, or that he asked them?
Oh, yeah.
That's a 50-50 shot.
I'm going he asked them.
We have an octogenarian white guy that wants to come speak at your black college. Is that
I'm thinking he tried 3 other HBCUs.
Yes.
Before finally getting one to say yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You come on to the hip-hop. The hip-hop, but don't stop the boogie. What? Yeah. You know the thing. What? NWA ain't nothing about it. What?
By the way,
he might as well have gotten up there and said, hey, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. F the police.
Okay, Joe. Doesn't it? Hold on. Something just crossed my mind. This may be really stupid, and I may get raked over the coals for this, but given what we said about admissions and everything else, doesn't going to an all-black college give up one of your benefits?
Yes.
It's kind of dumb at that point.
Yes.
Like, because it's like, yeah, I'm black, and we've got the affirmative action stuff. And
right.
There's other things. I have admissions. Yeah.
If you're
everyone here is, sir, or very much. I mean, I'm not sure that it's
not
100%,
everyone.
but
It's not everyone.
The point is,
significant
if they were a middling black American student
right.
at Harvard, they got a shot instead of going to the Morehouse.
I don't know that they call it that.
I went to Morehouse. Biden is speaking. So you better shut your black mouth.
Come on. Not a joke.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.